Hey everybody, Todd here. Welcome back to another Wellness Talks Brief. Now today, all I'm going to do is be working on a way that you can reduce an emotional state, sensations, or a mental state where you're not feeling very good. And there's a lot of extra pressure, a lot of outside pressure. I'm going to walk you through a real simple exercise that you can use right now to reduce that experience of stress and pressure. So just stick around. If you like this video, be sure to click the thumbs up below. Okay, so here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to pay attention to what's currently going on in your body right now. Just take a quick moment, and if you want to, close your eyes and pay attention to any sensations that you're currently experiencing. Just note them in your body. Good. Now what I'd like for you to do is, on a scale of 1, very low intensity, to 10, oh my God, intensity, I'd like for you to just go ahead and rate what the experience is for you right now. The pressure, the tension across the chest, the pit of the stomach, something that's collapsing in your chest, your shoulders, tenseness, your jaw, whatever it might be. I'd like for you to go ahead and rank that. So let's just say you're dealing with an 8. Feels like an 8 or a 9. It's pretty significant. So we've just given it a rating. And what I'd like for you to do now is just pay attention to your body and see if it's possible to breathe a little slowly, to bring your attention to that part of your body that you've just identified as an 8 or a 9, and think about what would you need to do right now to just bring it down 1 notch. So if you're at a 9, how would you bring it down to an 8? If you're in an 8, how would you bring it down to a 7? So just take a moment, and if you need to pause, go ahead and do that, and then just click the play button to come back in and do what you can to reduce. So maybe you loosen your shoulders a little bit. Maybe you put your shoulders back and we open up the chest. It's not unusual for us when we're dealing with an experience to collapse inwards, to try to unconsciously protect ourselves from whatever is happening, even though it's happening internally. So think about opening up, relaxing, and pay attention to that part of the body where you're having difficulty. And we're going to bring it down 1 notch. Okay. Did it work? Did you bring it down? Half of a notch? A full notch? So we went from a 9 to an 8, or an 8 to a 7? Or maybe we went from an 8 to a 7.5. It's still better. It's still progress. Good. So just note that, and what I'd like for you to do is to pay attention to the pain, the sensation in your body, and I'd like for you to close your eyes this time and visualize that pain. Visualize the sensation, the pressure. And just take a moment and see if you can detect, where does the sensation begin and where does that sensation end? And again, we're going to just try to slow everything down, get present in this moment. Instead of trying to just jump away from it, we're just going to be present. And the goal is to drop it down 1 more notch. Slowing down your breath and paying attention to the sensation. Can you see it? Can you define it in your mind's eye? Are you aware of where it begins and where it ends? Now, for some people, doing this the first time, just paying attention, doing what we can to slow things down, maybe we need to rub, maybe we need to move around, maybe we need to just do some kind of stimulation for ourselves and just relax. We can tense things up. There is progressive muscle relaxation, very similar. You can always look that up and learn how to do that as well. We tense things up and let them go. But what I'd like for you to do is just notice that we went from a 9 to an 8 or an 8 to a 7. And then in working with some individuals in session doing this, they went from a 9 to a 7 or a 9 to a 6 and a 6 to a 5 or a 6 to a 4. It does work, but it may require you just doing this more than once. Just taking a moment, and it's really key to be present, to get grounded, to pay attention to the sensations happening in your body. When we're trying to get away from them, when we're trying to ignore them, and we're trying to control them, we tend to amplify them. We're giving them more attention. It's not going to make it go away. There's nothing I can do or say that's going to do just that. But we can actually bring it down to a point where it's tolerable. It's like a 4 or a 5 or maybe a 6, because a 6 would be preferable to a 9. So just give this scaling it down technique a chance and try practicing this often. And consider throwing this in there. Consider writing this down somewhere to remind you to try it, because, well, practice makes perfect, or actually intentional practice makes perfect. And until the next time, may you be well. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you got something useful out of it. If you did get something useful out of this, can you do me a favor and just click the like button below? When you do that, you're giving me some very valuable feedback as to this was truly something that was useful and that I should make more videos like this. I hope that you found something valuable here, even if it was just a little bit, because one of my main goals is just trying to make your life 1% better now than it was at the beginning of this video. And of course, as always, if you like what you saw here, please feel free to subscribe. And until the next time, may you be well.